Alright, at this point you should have split the cell on Angela's price range and entered the data. So now we're going to go ahead and learn how to apply styles to table text. We're on page 340 if you guys are following along. Click anywhere in the merge cell at the top of the table to position the insertion point. So that row we just made. Okay, we're going to click the style box on the common toolbar and point to heading 1. Alright. So we've got that done. Now it says position the pointer to the left of row 2 to change the pointer to the row selector. So our row selector is that black arrow, right? We're going to select that. Select the whole of row 2, and then we're going to go to heading 3. Okay, it's going to enlarge and bold our text. Next thing we're going to do is select the 5 cells containing the stylist names. So that's this one. So it's Sarah, Angela, Morgan, Christoph, and then Marcus and Elisa. Okay, we're going to go to heading 3 on this as well. Okay, that's all we have to do on that section, so go ahead and save it, Control S, and we've got it saved. We're moving on over to a handy little tool, converting text to a table. Okay, so for this, we're not going to need the stylist table page anymore. We're going to go back to default. So on default, we're going to click below our since 1990 that we did earlier. Okay, and then we're going to double click the paragraph, add a paragraph tag, and we've got some things to enter in this. So we're going to go ahead and type Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're going to tab, type 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, that's our first line of our table now at this point. And don't worry that we don't have a table inserted. It's going to work itself out, trust me. So we're going to hit enter, go down our next line. Okay, and we got some more data to enter. So Thursday and Friday. Tab 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then that tab over is really important because that's going to tell our table later on how it wants to format this. Okay, so we're going to go down to our next line, Saturday, tab, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Sunday, tab, closed. Alright, we're going to select these 4 lines. So just the ones that have the days of the week and the times. Okay, we're going to go to the table menu. Okay, and then it should say convert. When you hover over that, we're going to convert text to table. And hit tabs, because we entered tabs as the thing that's going to delineate those. And then we're going to hit OK. So that's cool, right? It automatically makes our little table. So we're going to select the new table, point to convert on the table menu, and then click table to text to convert it back. That's just an experiment. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'm not going to show you how to do that, but if you want to do that on your own time, you can. Next thing we're going to learn is how to distribute rows and columns. So we're going to right click the table to open the shortcut menu. Okay, and we're going to go to table properties. And it should bring up that table properties box just like we've been working with, right? Click to specify width checkbox to deselect it. Okay, and then we're going to click OK. What that's going to do is change our column width and our row width. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. If you're following along, we're on step 3 on page 346 at this point. We're going to click the table tag on the quick tag selector. Okay, so we've got our whole table selected here. I'm going to click the center button. And now our table is centered. Cool. So now we're going to go on to table auto format, which is on 347. We're almost done with the tables section. Then we'll move on to iframe. So we're on 347, step 1, if you're following along. Okay, we're going to click the Table Auto Format button on our common toolbar up here. Okay, mine's taking a second. Yours hopefully doesn't take as long. Okay, it's going to bring up this little chart. Okay, it says click the Headings row checkbox to deselect it. So we want to deselect that. Click the first column checkbox to deselect it. Okay, we've done that. Click the Borders checkbox to deselect it. Okay, and scroll down the formats list, and then click the Subtle 1 option to select it. So we're going down to Subtle 1. Down here, second from the bottom. Okay, and you'll notice in the preview window it put our little yellow background highlight on there. We're going to click OK. Then we're going to click outside the table to deselect it. And save our page. And now we're off to iframes. Alright, the last thing we need to talk about in this chapter 5 is iframes. Iframes are going to be super handy to us. You can insert a page inside of a page, Inception style. You can put YouTube videos on here this way. You can put maps from Google Maps on here this way. Super handy, and we'll learn a lot more about them later on, but this is kind of an introduction to them and the easiest way to insert them. Alright, so we're going to insert ours below our table that we've just inserted. So click below the table, press enter to position the insertion point where the iframe will appear. Okay, I'm just going to do an extra one just in case. We're going to insert a p tag. Okay, and then we're going to go to the insert menu to where it says HTML, and then there's one that's called inline frame. Right? Go ahead and click on that. And this little gray box that says set initial page and new page are on there. So before we do anything like that, we're going to try to resize these. So if you click on the iframe, we're going to go to a width of 680 or somewhere around there. It's helpful to have a split code up here so you can actually see how far across it is in width. Okay, and then we're going to go down 325 or so. We're just showing you how to resize it. It doesn't have to be exact on here. I mean, you can make it exact if you want to up here in the code. 325, 680 I think I said. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to, just make it close. Okay, so we've resized it. We've still got to select it, so we're going to center it on the common toolbar. Okay, so we're going to save the page there before we move on. So go ahead and save the page. Next thing we're going to learn is on 352 to target links in an iframe. So we're going to click the Set Initial Page button. That's one on the left. It's going to bring up, a bunch of our stuff underneath our folder. Okay, so we're going to click Stylus Table. Then hit Stylus Table. Make sure that other thing is closed, because you can't mess with it if it's not closed. Okay, I'm going to click the OK button and save the page. But it has inserted that entire table, or that entire page we've just made, into an inline frame on this page we're doing right now. Pretty neat, right? We're going to preview it in the browser just to make sure everything is copacetic and we like how it looks. Go ahead and preview it in the browser, and this is what it's going to look like. So remember, like I said, it's going to be a scrollable box, but you can put a YouTube video in here, you can put a map in here, you can put other pages inside of your page if you want. Pretty neat little trick, but that is it for chapter 5. So go ahead and save, close out, raise your hand so I can come over and check your work, and we'll be moving on after this.